As we are talking about anchoring point, we'll see here some types of anchoring systems and even the recognized international knots. So the anchorage is the structure where your anchoring device will be installed. It can be natural, like a tree, roots, and so on. Structural, like concrete structures, or artificial, like special equipment. As important as choosing the right PPE for our workers is to develop a reliable and resistant system that provides complete protection against falls. According to the NBR 15595, the anchorage must have a greater resistance than the rest of the system, with a minimum load of 1,500 kilos. The anchorage points of the safety cable, like on the lifeline, must be inspected before the activity starts, and its component and accessory must be in perfect condition. The dimension of the maximum load of the final anchorage point must be performed by a legally qualified professional. As safety redundancy is never too much, average anchorage point must have at least 2 attachment points. And the anchorage point must always be below the secondary point. And there should not be a large gap between the 2 points, as in case of a breakage, there will be a very large impact on the secondary point. Since the ropes are part of the anchorage point, let's talk a little bit about it. The ropes do not have a certificate of approval. The NR6 does not consider the rope as an individual protective equipment, so it is not mandatory to have a CA. This could be changed, but the chance of the rope entering in the list of PPE is low, because the rope is an accessory that helps the PPE. But the rope has several specifications. They are considered the main means of access and safety for most of the work at height. It has great versatility and durability, made of different materials, and before buying or using the rope, it is necessary to know whether the diameter, the length, the material, and also the elasticity are consistent with the requirement of the work to be performed. We must be very careful with the rope. We must not drag or step on it. We should not expose it to the sunlight. Use only for rescue, recovery operations. Only use in activities indicated for. Avoid abrasion, avoid contact with chemical products, dust, and fire. Wash using only water and let it dry in a dark and well-ventilated place. When inspecting, check for the cover for cracks, tears, and burns. Check the core for deformities beneath it. When storing, you should use bags or roll the rope according to the use. Those who work at height should keep in mind that a number of factors can influence safety. And one of them consists of the process of knots and moorings used in access by ropes. But the use of these knots and moorings is more common for workers who access by ropes, like the rope climbers. But it is interesting for our training to study them, since it may happen that one day we need to use them, as the double 8 or the figure 8 loop. Use it, for example, for the connection to the stretcher in case of a confined space rescue. Maybe this is the most used knot, especially when it comes to rescue, rope access, rescue at height, climbing, among others. In general, it can be used whenever it is necessary to anchor the rope in another person or in some other point, like I said, on the stretcher, for example. And remember, any knot takes out the resistance from a rope, as it unevenly overloads the rope fibers. The guided 8 has the same final result as the double 8 and has the same characteristics and function as the previous one. Bunny knot, it is widely used to promote access anchoring by ropes and in case of climbing, and the balance between 2 structures, adding greater redundancy in the assembly of a V-equalized anchorage, for example. And the fisherman's knot, basically use it to join 2 lines of identical diameter. It is also considered one of the safest knots, adding even more resistance. When subject to extreme force, its assembly is almost impossible. The Prusik loop is a type of blocking knot of great use for safety, diversion, or traction system. It has a particularity of attaching the greater the force applied to its handle. Once the force is released, it can be easily removed. And the UIAA knot, or what we can call the dynamic knot. It is basically a sliding knot, having better use if used with asymmetric D or pair carabiners. As the knot is symmetrical, it works in both directions to lose or retract the rope. It can be used in both dynamic and static strings. And we close this module here. I hope it has become clear the importance of good choice on the anchor points.